it's recording. So, okay, so Beckham and Daxton both have very similar behavior intervention plans. And so I went over this, the kind of the cycle, or this is like kind of the crisis cycle that you'll see with a lot of students. And it's the same with Daxton and Beckham. So when they're at baseline, you'll see they're at their seats and following directions that they're given. When they're in their rotation groups, they're working on their math or reading and following along with whoever's teaching their rotation group. But when they're at baseline and just doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're calm, they have their reward charts at their desk. Beckham's is the Minecraft and Daxton's is the Pokemon. And so they're not on a set interval. It's not like every minute they circle. I kind of just gauge in my mind, like if they're really distracted during science, like, or something like that. If you notice, like, oh, they're really needing a little more support, I have staff stand next to them and make sure they're circling on their chart. So if they're playing with their toys, I had to implement this at the beginning of the school year because they became really good friends, which is great. But if they're playing with their toys, and we're doing a whole group instruction for science or shared reading, and they're at their desks just playing, I have told them that their chart moves, they can't be earning their chart moves, like their points are only for when they're participating in science or shared reading. They can have their toys on the desk next to them, but if they're actively playing with them and not looking up at what we're doing, then we're not circling their charts. So when they get all 10, there is a reward menu in their desks. It's like this, like a menu. And so it has what they can earn. They can earn their playtime together, where they can just go over in this area, like the calming area, or just off by themselves, and they can play with their toys, or they can have drawing time, or they can have like a paper craft. I do want to caution with the drawing time, and even like doing a paper craft that Beckham comes up with. He has a very difficult time transitioning off that. You had left for the day yesterday. They earned drawing, and then when it was time to transition off of their reward time with drawing to do science, they both had a very difficult time putting the markers away and moving back to their desks to do science. So I really tried to do like their reward charts, especially for Beckham, something that has a solid beginning and end to it. So giving a small edible reinforcement, like gummy bears or a gummy worm or something, where you can just eat it, be done, and like we can erase his chart moves and start over again with him earning rewards. The drawing gets a little tricky with like transitioning him off. I do have these paper crafts that we used with him last year. There's the paper crafts. And this is a great, like it has a beginning and an end. Like he cuts these out, puts them together with tape, and he has his product done. We move on. He was really into these last year, but he likes to kind of come up with his own ideas of a paper craft. And then he's like, I need a black marker, a blue marker. I need some scissors. I need like one day he was like, I need cardboard and I need yarn. And I said, I don't have those things.
Yeah.
But I need it to do this thing I need to make. And so I really try to make sure that reward time is like as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Like they earn their reward, then we can like move on.
Yeah.
So with so does that make sense with their reward charts? So
Yeah.
with these two, when they start to go into this trigger, like you'll notice like Beckham will start to whine and say, I can't. Or he'll say, shut up, or like, you're stupid. Like you'll see, it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're getting upset. So he has break cards. He has a break card. His will look like this. And then Daxton has break cards as well. So they're both very similar. It looks like you need a break. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times Beckham will just put his break card on the table. And I don't say, oh, you need to ask me for a break. If he puts it down on the table, I respect that. Like,
he needs one.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know you need a break. Go ahead and go take your break. And he'll go over to the calming area, or sometimes he just takes his library book out and reads quietly.
Okay.
If he's really frustrated or like starting to get upset with like something going on in the environment, he will sometimes ask for a walk, but then that is a supervised walk. You will go with him and just, have to be like right next to him, but he just like super like shadowing him. And sometimes he wants you to be right there so you can talk to him and like, hey, what's going on? How are you feeling? And he'll want to talk. But when he's very escalated, his voice is raised, he's yelling, he will have the tendency when he's very like in this, stage 4, like that he'll throw chairs or throw desks, or he'll hit someone like staff or peers. He will also kick. We want to catch it here, like this. When we notice the trigger, we want to have him use his coping strategies with like requesting a break, like the appropriate replacement behavior, requesting a break. If it gets into the crisis, he'll sometimes throw the tables over, and thank goodness we haven't seen this since before Christmas, but it does happen, and there can be some force with hitting it. We won't turn just to like an open hand hit. It's like he's punched staff, and so we will do a room clear if that's the case. And like Leanne will come in, and we'll move the other students to Macy's class.
Okay. And
allow Beckham to have, or if it's Daxton as well. Like I haven't seen Daxton reach the crisis. He has been escalated where he threw a chair, but like we got to we got back down to a calming down and like recovery pretty quick. So they've both been really good this year using their break cards, and they know that we'll respect their breaks, and that if they ask for a break, it's respected and given immediately. And with both of them too, I think just making sure you're giving yourself the space so they aren't hitting you. If you are really close to them when they're triggered or starting to become agitated, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable situation of getting hurt. So, and it communicates to them that we respect them if you're giving space. If you're like, oh, what's wrong? And you're like calm down, that is going to cause them to become even more frustrated. But if you're showing them that you respect their space and you're moving back and the going over some of these, like when they're in the orange zone.
Yeah.
Looks like you need a break. Let's go get a drink of water, offering those strategies. So with these two, they have a response cost in place, and this is their little response cost menu. The one that I did remove them from their desks because when they do lose minutes, they know, and they take their charts and run away with them. Like, you're not crossing off my minutes.
Yeah.
So I have them on my clipboard now.
Okay.
And so, and you'll see there's numbers below, like negative 69 seconds, negative 143 seconds.
Yeah.
So that is for any incident of aggression or elopement.
Okay.
So aggression would look like if, hitting, kicking. If they throw, if Beckham, you hand him his spelling worksheet and he just like throws it on the floor, I'm not doing that. That's not aggression. That's not going to, that worksheet, unless you got a paper cut or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, going to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
That's just being non-compliant with the work demand. So we're not going to cross off his on his chart for non-compliance. Like, the compliance is centered around their reward charts. Like,
Okay.
if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, we're circling their little characters, and they can get that reward time outside of. So this chart with their response cost is the Chromebook time that they receive. So they get their Chromebook time at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. And so if there is an aggression with hitting, kicking, also throwing furniture, I count that.
Okay.
Because throwing furniture is dangerous.
Yeah.
We could get hurt by furniture being thrown. So I do a response cost if they throw a desk or a chair.
Okay.
Even if it's not thrown at someone, that's dangerous. It's not appropriate to throw furniture. So I will cross off for throwing large objects. But if it's just like dropping your worksheet on the floor,
It's nothing.
no one's going to get hurt by a worksheet.
Yeah.
If they took their pencil and threw their pencil or marker at you and it hits someone, that's a cross off, because that object made contact with someone else. So a marker, if it hit you just the right way in your face, that could hurt. So objects that could hurt someone, that would be a cross off on the chart.
Okay.
Elopement is leaving the classroom without asking someone if they can go on a break, or if they can go for a walk, or break or walk would be similar for them, but going to the bathroom or going to get a drink of water. If they ask you, that's fine. But it's very noticeable when Beckham elopes. Like, you've told him that he can't have access to something at the moment, or he is in that trigger phase, so he just will walk out of the classroom.
Yeah.
He used to exit the school, and so it was dangerous because he would go out onto the playground, or he'd try to leave school grounds. Same with Daxton. He has a history at his previous school of leaving the building and going outside onto the playground. So this year, when they've walked out, they've only walked out like Beckham's probably only done it 4 times, and Daxton's only done it a couple of times, which is huge improvement. It used to be an all day, like Beckham and Daxton at their previous schools, and even when Beckham started here, it was like constant. He was walking out the door, and like any demand, or any time you asked anything of him, he'd just walk out. I'm going home, and grab his backpack and leave, and then become physically aggressive if you try to intervene with him leaving the building. So it's a huge improvement with